Fun Homestead. Today we're going to make 4 healthy make-ahead dry cookie mixes. This will help you out through the holidays or anytime late in the evening when your kids may get a desire for something sweet. The first thing that we're going to do is mix whole wheat flour with white flour. This is 3 1/3 cups of wheat flour and 3 cups of all-purpose flour. We also need to put in 3/4 teaspoon of salt. It needs to be fine ground salt. 1 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. 2 1/4 cups of sugar. This is 100% sugar cane. You can also use white sugar or maple sugar, whatever you may desire, as long as it is a solid and not a liquid. Once we have everything in the bowl, we need to whisk very well. After the mixture is well mixed, we store it in 1/2 gallon glass jars. I have written on the outside what it is, and on the back I've made detailed instructions since I'm not the only one in our household that makes the cookies. It has the 3 cups of mix, softened butter, 1 egg, vanilla, how much the oven needs to set for, and approximately how long the cookies need to bake. I also have a funnel so I can put my mix into the glass jar. Once it's in the glass jar, it will keep approximately for 3 months, but as good as these cookies are, I'm sure that you'll use them before that. Our next home-time favorite make-ahead cookie is going to be the chocolate chip. This requires 3 cups of whole wheat flour, 1 1/2 cups of white all-purpose flour, 3/4 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 1/2 teaspoons of baking soda, 3/4 teaspoon of salt. Once again, it needs to be the fine ground salt. And 3 cups of sugar. You can use white sugar if you prefer. This is 100% sugar cane. You can also use maple sugar, whatever suits your taste. And last but not least is going to be 2 cups of chocolate chips. We actually grind our chocolate instead of buying the store-bought chocolate chips. So our cookies will be dark completely throughout. After everything's in the bowl, we need to mix well before we store in our 1/2 gallon glass jar. And of course it will be labeled, and we'll need to write on the sides again as to what else will go in the recipe. This is our chocolate chip mix in a jar. I've written on this side what else needs to be put in along with 3 cups of the mix, and then I've written the temperature and for how long the cookies need to bake. The third great make-ahead cookie recipe is going to be peanut butter cookies. This calls for 2 3/4 cup of wheat, 1 cup of all-purpose flour. We grind our wheat, so it has to be used a bit quicker than what store-bought wheat would be, but you can do either one. Along with this, we also need to add 3/4 teaspoon of salt, finely ground salt, 1 1/2 teaspoons of baking powder, 2 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. And last but not least is 3 cups of sugar. Then we need to mix it well. This is a peanut butter mix all in one jar. They need to bake at 350 for 8 to 10 minutes. And I've also listed the other ingredients. It requires softened butter, vanilla, egg, and peanut butter. These would be great for any kind of company party or if your children want something sweet in a hurry. And also one thing that we don't do just because we use them very quick is you can have the gel silicone packets that you can put in each jar, and that would help pull any moisture that's in there out. Otherwise, they keep good for 3 months. If you put them in the refrigerator, they would probably last longer. Our final mixture that we're going to make is going to be the snickerdoodle mix. This is an American favorite. It requires 2.5 cups of whole grain flour, 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 4½ teaspoons of cream of tartar, 1½ teaspoon of baking soda, 3/4 teaspoon of finely ground salt. We use Himalaya. You can use white or sea salt, whatever you want. And 2¼ cups of sugar. Once this is all in the bowl, we need to mix well before we store it in our jar. This is our final jar of cookie mix. This is the Snickerdoodle. I have put the baking time for how long, 350 for 8 to 10 minutes, and also what other ingredients it needs, which is going to be 3 cups of the mix, 1/2 cup of softened butter, 1 egg, and then as everybody knows about Snickerdoodles, they're also rolled in sugar with cinnamon mixture, so I've also put that on the jar. Like I said before, I'm not the only one here that makes cookies, so when the girls do it, they have all the instructions. Thank you for watching our video. We hope that these are beneficial to you and your family. Also, instead of just using them for your family as a quick fix for something sweet, you can also offer these as a gift at Christmas time. There's nothing better than receiving a jar of ingredients with a short set of instructions to make someone a happy Christmas.